Welcome, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jackie Ives, your host for the Video Summit series, Make Him Fall Madly in Love. 21 experts share keys and tools to help you discover how to attract love, keep it real, and make it last forever. And today we have an incredible, inspirational speaker that I'm dying to share with our audience, Abiola Abrams. Thank you so much, Abiola, for being here today.
You are absolutely welcome, Jackie. I'm so thrilled about this summit and all of the people who are listening. We're going to get them some great knowledge that they can use today.
Right on. I'm dying to tell the audience a little bit more about you, so let me just shine the light on you a little bit, and then we'll dive into our topic, okay?
Sure.
Okay, so you're the author of the Sacred Bombshell Handbook of Self-Love, and you're also a love, body, spirit coach. And I know that you're in major demand as a motivational speaker, a relationship advice columnist, and you also help extraordinary women, I love this, rise and shine. And I know you give a lot of great no-nonsense advice on networks from CW and MTV and the BBC and the Discovery Channel. Wow, you honor us with your presence, and I know you have the Sacred Bombshell Handbook as well. And so I'd love to hear all about that. And I know that you're going to share with us how to become a sacred bombshell, an irresistible magnet today.
Yes. You get me all jazzed up when you say it like that. Absolutely. That is what my work is about, that I spent the last 15 years empowering women, as you said, to rise into their shine. And so I'm ready. Let's begin.
Okay, so how do you become a sacred bombshell, an irresistible magnet?
Okay, so first, Jackie, I've got to tell you what it means to be a sacred bombshell. That, I am reclaiming the word bombshell to mean, the bombshells next door, like you and I. And of course, we recognize and acknowledge, the traditional bombshells like Marilyn Monroe's and the Halle Berrys. But I'm reclaiming this word to mean something greater. And for me, a sacred bombshell is a woman who owns herself, mind, body, and spirit, a woman who loves herself unconditionally, and a woman who is a magnet for all of her desires. See, we kind of get it a little bit twisted, Jackie. We live in this world that rewards, external needs and external circumstances, and we think that it's all about, go, 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 what you want to get, what's the next thing to acquire, all of those things. That I'm about helping women to tap into their feminine energy, as I call it femergy, and their feminine power. And by embracing this side of ourselves that we're kind of trained away from, we then become magnets to all that we want. So that's what a sacred bombshell is. And here's the magical thing. All you have to do is claim it. So I encourage you, if you're driving, wherever you are and you're listening to this, well, not if you're at work, but to just declare it right now. Say, I am a sacred bombshell. Yeah, I hear you. I am a sacred bombshell. And now we have begun our journey together.
I love that I just love that you're reinventing this word, the sacred bombshell, and I love that you tied it to unconditional love, because isn't that at the essence and the core what it is? We truly is required of us to be a sacred bombshell. And how do you recommend or share with us dropping into that unconditional love? What does that look like?
Yes, well, when we talk about unconditional self-love, because my path, just, so that women know, is that, I started out giving advice and interventions on love, sex, dating, and relationship breakthroughs. And then with working one-on-one with my clients, it always came back to self-love. And here's my question for you, my chickadees who are listening. If you are looking for a partner to love you unconditionally, and you do not love yourself unconditionally, how in the world can that be possible? And the reason I ask this is that our love for ourselves, Jackie, as you know, woman to woman, sister to sister, is so darn conditional. We feel like, okay, self, I will love you if you fit into the perfect pair of jeans, if you have followed your diet today, if you have the perfect job or making the right amount of money or have, less wrinkles or whatever it is. No, 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 no. That you can't expect someone else to love you more than you love yourself. And also, you cannot expect to love someone else more than you love yourself. That it's just not possible. It's just impossible. And so that's why it begins with unconditional self-love. And what I want to add to that, Jackie, is that I've had a lot of female clients say to me, a lot of my amazing sacred bombshell clients say to me, well, Abiola, if I loved myself today, like you say, then why would I strive for anything greater? Why would I strive to, make more money or make my relationship better or make my body better? And the way that I say it, the way that I explain it is, if you take, for example, the perfect little newborn baby, you love her just as she is, but you still want her to grow. You still want her to shine. You still want her to live her optimized life. It's the same with ourselves. You can't wait and say, I will love myself when I lose the weight, get the guy, get the job, whatever it is. That you've got to be grateful for who you are right now, and then you grow into who you came to be. That's the alchemy in it.
That's the secret right there. So it's self-acceptance, just accepting yourself, myself, for all of everything about me unconditionally and loving all the parts of me. And once I do that, then I can really drop into love.
Yes, and let me add something to that, Jackie, because self-love is such it's an ethereal concept. When we were growing up, we've heard, love yourself, just love yourself, just love yourself, but we're like, I don't know what that means. So many of us, we feel like I would love myself, but I don't know what that means. And so the way that I teach it when I do workshops and talks is I say, I coined another term. I like to make up a lot of terms because sometimes the language, fails us and we need words to bridge us in between. I call it self-being. And I say when you cannot access self-love, start with self-being. And self-being just means being right where you are right now. Self-acceptance, as you said, looking in the mirror and being like, all right, this is who I am, this is what I am dealing with, and I love where I am today. Milking the moment, whether it's with meditation or sitting quietly or, whatever it is that you've got to find to just milk the present moment. Gratitude is a great self-being tool. And all of these things then turn us into being a magnet for our desires, which for all of us include love, loving ourselves and being loved.
I love that you brought up just being in the moment, because all of our power is in the moment. And when we choose to be in the moment from moment to moment, we become so much more powerful as individuals, and we can tap into an even greater power by just having that presence. And you were talking about how to, you said, tap into your feminine power and how to become more irresistible. Can you just shed some light on that? How do you tap into your feminine power even more?
Yes. Okay, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. So ladies, grab your cup of tea or champagne or whatever you've got going, take a sip, and let's talk.
I love it.
Okay. So to tap into your feminine power. Now, my great-grandmother, Jackie, so that you know a little bit about me, was a midwife in Guyana in South America. And I say, I'm the midwife for your life, that, at that time, there were certain things about feminine power that women knew and practiced in their lives that we've lost, that we've moved away from. And as a card-carrying feminist, I can tell you that feminism, the things that, the work that our foremothers have done in the past 40, 50 years has been amazing for us in the workplace, in the sports arena, in academia, to teach us how to shine. But when it comes to juicing up and revving up our personal lives and our love lives, ladies, we are sadly depleted. That a lot of us just are drained, and the reason is that we are craving our very feminine essence. And so when I talk about, tuning into your feminine power, and ladies, I have to tell you, no one was more afraid of and resistant to this concept than me, because we feel like, well, didn't feminism make us all equal and we're all the same and we're all exactly the same? And we are, you know, when it comes to, like I said, these professional arenas, but no, there are things about you that are unique, that are divine, that are individual, that make you a sacred bombshell. And so there are very specific principles that I talk about in my new book, The Sacred Bombshell Handbook of Self-Love, that I'm going to share with you right now to tap into your feminine power. One of these keys is receptivity. Knowing how to receive. Now, that sounds so basic. Everyone's like, I know how to receive, but do you really? I'll give you an example. Right now, my brother and my beautiful sister-in-law are expecting a baby. First little bambino, a little girl. My sister-in-law is a hardworking. Thank you. A little sacred bombshell to be born. So my sister-in-law is a, you know, a go-get-it, you know, hardworking career woman. She was on the subway, you know, a few weeks ago, newly showing, so not used to people commenting on it, and another woman offered her a seat. So did she, you know, 6 months pregnant, sit down and take a load off of her stylish feet? No. She said, no, I'm fine. I got it. And how many times do we do that in our lives? We are unable to receive help. We're unavailable to receive abundance. You know, we're unavailable and unwilling to just receive love, a lot of us. So for all of the talk, Jackie, about, you know, unavailable men, many of us women are unavailable as well. Would you agree? Do you find that?
Yes, I absolutely resonate with what you're saying. Just women in general in our society hasn't taught us to how to receive. We've been raised to give, to be the givers and the caretakers, but not so I think that part of us has atrophied so much that we don't even recognize that we have that ability.
Yes, we don't. And so right now, one of the things I want to urge you to do is just go forward and just start receiving in your life, whether it's someone holding a door for you, or whether in your work environment, whether you feel like, well, I'm the only one that's capable of it and I can't ask other people to help because no one can do it like me. Just flex your receiving muscle. If you want to become an irresistible magnet to love and your desires, you have to know how to receive. Okay, so that's the first feminine power key that I'm going to give you. Another one, you know, when it comes to receiving, you know, life is a cycle. We take in, we let go. That's the other half of receiving, releasing. How many of us have issues with letting things go and moving forward? Many of us, we are, you know, still angry about and still grieving people we broke up with 5 or 10 years ago. You know, that guy that didn't ask us to the prom, or that best friend that betrayed us years ago. And if we don't release the old, then we cannot receive. We just can't.
Absolutely.
We just can't. And so it's a really important feminine power key to be able to let things go. And one of the ways, the concrete ways to do that is with forgiveness. You know, forgiveness of ourselves, first and foremost, forgiveness of other people, whether it's your parents, you know, whether it's, you know, a lost love that you have, forgiveness for situations that you and all of the other parties involved did the best you could at that very moment, and letting things go. You know, we recognize clutter when it comes to paper clutter, right? Or, you know, things within our environment. But there's all kinds of clutter, Jackie. There's people clutter, you know, there's emotional clutter, there's digital clutter. So letting go of the things that are cluttering up your life to make room for the new.
Oh, I just love that you said that. The letting go is just so huge, because as soon as we're able to let go, another door, when one door closes, another opens instantly. But as long as we're hanging on to whatever it is we're hanging on, we're really not in the present. So then again, we've lost our ability to be present and receive, because we're blocking it with holding on to the past. And I love that you said forgiveness. That's the key, because it's not necessarily excusing someone's behavior, but it's taking the hook out of our own mouth. It's setting ourselves free by forgiving so that we can be free and move on. And so, words of wisdom. You're just ringing my bell today. I love this.
Ding, ding, ding. Yes, and it's like, you know, ladies, what we're talking about is becoming a magnet on an energetic level to what you want. That there's a Rumi quote, you know, I'm going to butcher it a little bit here, but it's something like, you know, what you are seeking is seeking you. That, you know, life wants to reward us with, you know, happiness and joy and passion and pleasure and feeling full of ourselves, you know, and that is actually another one of the feminine power keys that I talk about. The secrets of feminine power. I call this term fullness. And fullness is really, you know, how many of us were raised to believe that, yeah, fullness, a woman who is full of herself, like we say, oh, she's full of herself. It's a bad thing, we think. But no, being full of yourself means, you know, that you're embracing passion, pleasure, play, you know, love, joy, all of these things that are kind of forbidden in our culture. You know, we are kind of nose to the grindstone people as Americans, that, you know, we reward hard work and just driving ahead and being able to outman any man. But you've got to be able to take in the pleasures of life. Think about it. If you were, you know, a person that was a masculine energy person, and this is for same-sex relationships, you know, it doesn't matter. If you were a masculine energy person, a yang energy person, looking for someone of yin energy, would you prefer someone who, you know, is just doggedly focused, you know, like this, like, you know, we put the horse with the, you know, just eyes straight ahead, or someone who was pleasurably enjoying her life? I want to invite you to live fully, to enjoy your life, to savor the pleasures, to, you know, make everything that you're doing a pleasure. That, you know, I talk about, you know, we talk about discipline. I call it blissipline. So if you've got to pay your taxes, for example, it's an odious task for most of us. Light some incense or some candles. Have something wonderful to drink while you're doing it. If it's tea that you're into, I'm a big tea drinker, or, you know, if it's wine that you're into, make your daily life a pleasure whenever possible. In order to live fully, these are the ways that you charge up your feminine power magnet. And along those lines, a tool that you can use with that is an appreciation for abundance. That, Jackie, you know, if you are repeating, you know, there are no good men or women left, whatever you're into, or, you know, life sucks or whatever it is, then life will say to you, sure, life sucks. And you're going to just notice and attract things to you that reiterate your beliefs to you. You know, that we don't want to be wrong as human beings, and so if you go forward with the belief life sucks, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for life to prove to you that it sucks. So if you're talking to your friends and your friends are, you know, just stuck on all of the horrible things that have happened to them in their relationships, and we all have those stories, then you are not really kind of watering your life with the positive energy that it's going to take in order to sustain a wonderful, loving relationship. And so guess what? If you don't have a belief in the abundance of the universe, and you attract to you someone who is divine for you, you're not going to hold on to that relationship because you believe that it doesn't work out anyway or whatever it is. You're going to come up with ways to sabotage it. You're going to come up with ways to reject that person, to send away that love. How many of us have heard of, you know, the lottery winner's curse? Well, it's because they, you know, they happen to win the lottery, but they haven't reset their belief system. And so they're going to now go into spending that money or enjoying that money or whatever it is with the same old belief system that life sucks or there's a life of lack, the poverty mindset that they had. So we've got to start with an attitude of abundance, a belief in, you know, the very abundance in life. And from there, we can then move toward becoming a magnet for what we desire.
Oh, that's so beautiful, and everything you're touching on is just, there's so much truth ringing through, and especially the abundance, because we live in an abundant universe. There is no such thing as lack or scarcity. It's just in the mind. And I like that you mentioned belief systems, because if we take the time to examine our unconscious beliefs or just listen to our inner dialogue that's happening, you can begin to see a pattern, and that is what you draw in. So I love that you said to incorporate the beauty with your tea, or I just put rose oil on before our interview just to calm it's just so beautiful, and there's so much beauty. And I look around me, you surround yourself with the beauty and become that, because you already are that. But sometimes we need help to just make it happen each moment. And so these are wonderful steps. I love how you're just really breaking it down to the very basic principles that seem so obvious, but they're not so obvious, because, as you pointed out in the very beginning, that we haven't been taught how to self-nurture and self-love ourselves, and it's high time that we do that. And I'm glad you're here to tell us how.
Yes. That many of us, we were living in a dry life crisis. And so if you are experiencing a dry life crisis, meaning that your life feels stagnant, feels like, you're blocked. How do we, when something is dry, when we think of, for example, things that are old, a plant that is old, it's kind of dry, kind of crinkly, things that are young and sumptuous are juiced up. So we've got to get ourselves and our lives juiced up. And as simple as it sounds, simple doesn't necessarily mean easy, but this means that these are things that are available to each of us and that we all have access to.
Absolutely, we certainly do. But like you said, it does take effort. It requires that we take action, because knowledge without action serves no useful purpose. So just to take action on taking all these steps. And so tell us a little bit about your book, and I'm sure that you have some action steps again in your book that's coming out.
Yes. Well, in my book, I talk a lot about belief system, which I call, your BS. Deal with your belief system, dealing with your BS.
I love that.
Yes, and as I said, the book is named The Sacred Bombshell Handbook of Self-Love. It's the 11 forbidden secrets of feminine power. And in the book, I use a blend of tools that I learned from my one-on-one coaching with women. I also use art therapy tools, because I have my master's degree, master's in fine arts, and so art therapy tools are a way to access, our creative minds and get our minds on board with making changes in our lives. And I also use a number of spiritual energy techniques, all blended together with concrete ways for us to make changes in our lives in these 11 areas. And this is, again, these are, tested tools that I've used not only with my clients, but with myself in my own life, that, I, like all of us, had a number of different challenges to overcome. And here's the magical thing, that when you start to make breakthroughs, self-love breakthroughs in one area of your life, it starts to open up and clear the energy for other areas of your life. And so, for every challenge that we might have, that there is a self-love solution. There's a self-love solution for every challenge. And so one of the things, a homework assignment that I want to give to everyone who is listening and watching us right now today, is that one of the things that you can do tomorrow, if you are going to, take on the day with an attitude of being a magnet for your desires, when you wake up in the morning, I want you to say, thank you. Thank you so much for giving gratitude and grace for you waking up in the morning. Then when you look at yourself in the mirror, instead of going, oh God, look at her again, I want you to look at yourself and look yourself in the eyes and go, wow, gorgeous, beautiful, I love you, how wonderful. And then here's the tricky part. When you leave your house, I want you to be in receiving mode. And so look around for all of the things that are coming at you. And whether it's a man smiling at you or, whatever it is, just be in a receiving mode. If someone holds the door for you, if someone's offering you something, take it. Just receive everything that comes at your way tomorrow. And here's the last homework assignment. I want you to find someone you find attractive and smile at them and hold that smile for a minimum of 5 seconds. Now, 5 seconds is a really long time to hold a smile, but what you're doing is inviting and welcoming the love that you deserve into your life. Because so many of us have issues with deservability. We feel like we don't deserve to be loved, to to begin with, and so we can't receive love. So you going out smiling at yourself, smiling at life, smiling at a possible love interest, and this is whether you're in a relationship already or not, and just saying, here I am, world. Let's see what happens in response.
Oh, Abiola, I just adore you. You are so magnificent. Waking up with gratitude is, and as you know, gratitude is the most powerful force in the universe, but to wake up and just lasso that and just be grateful for the minute you wake up. I start off with giving thanks for my bed, and I just grab my thoughts right off the bat. Thank you for this, and I just feel my way out of the bed, and yes, and I hold my heart and say, I love you, because
Yes.
I do. And that just spills over into my day, and I love that you said smile for 5 seconds. My face hurts from smiling so much. Yes, but those simplest things, they change, and it's a practice that you can incorporate every day, and the results they're 10 times, they're incredible. And you change someone's life just by smiling at them.
Yes. Yes, that you don't know that maybe just at that moment that person needed the gift of your smile and your positive energy. And so, when you get up and you get out into the world, instead of being like, oh God, goodness, what's going to happen today? Be like, wow, I can't wait to find out what miracles life has in store for me today. That is infinitely sexier and more attractive than, I can guarantee you, than, just going out into your life like, ugh. Instead of life hates you, life loves you. Go forward with that belief.
Absolutely, and just to add to that, it's infinitely even more attractive than anything you could be wearing or how you look. You could be in a pair of sweats, and you smile like that, and it radiates from the inside. You can light up a whole room, and you don't need outer things to shine like that. It just has to come from within.
Yes. Yes, 100%. That it all is about your light from within. Your magnet you don't turn on your magnet from the outside. You turn on your magnet from the inside. And so, these are all things that charge up your magnet. And it's not like you do it one day and you're like, oh, well, that didn't work, and you give up. It's like bathing. You have to keep at it.
Yes, absolutely. And so I would love to hear about the free gift. I know our audience, hopefully they've been taking notes, because everything you've shared with us are really the secrets, and it's unfortunate they're secrets, but now you're creating this platform where they're not a secret. Everyone can have this real self-love now. Tell us about your free gift. I'm really excited about that.
Well, Jackie, I have to tell you, I'm really inspired. I was originally thinking, okay, I'm going to give away a few chapters of my book, but I am so thrilled about your, this summit and everything that you're doing and the energy in your audience, that I am going to give away an e-copy, complimentary e-copy of my entire book.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. So all that I ask, because audience, I want to receive from you your positive energy. Here's how you can receive a complimentary e-copy. Send me an email at kissanddtell@abiolatv.com. That's kiss, ANDTELL, at abiolatv.com. And what you're going to kiss and tell is you're going to tell me what you learned from this summit so far, and how you're going to put the practices to work in your life. In the subject line, it's very important that you write the word confidence, because that's what you are going forward with. And I will make sure that you get a complimentary e-copy of the Sacred Bombshell Handbook of Self-Love. So I'm going to say those 3 steps again. Number 1, you're going to send an email to kissanddtell@Abiola. You see the spelling of my name here on the summit, abiolatv.com, and the TV stands for Transformation and Victory. Number 2, you're going to let me know what you learned from this summit and put it into action. Number 3, you're going to write confidence in the subject line, and let's do it. Let's make sure you each get that copy.
Thank you so much. That's a generous offering. I can't wait to get the copy. And I just want to tell you that you are the epitome and the embodiment of self-love. You are so beautiful. Your light shines so so brightly, and I just feel so blessed that you agreed to be on the summit, because everything that you've shared with us today is just the bottom line. And I can tell that you are your own first client. You have done all of this work on yourself to be able to radiate at such a high level, and you're just so self-empowered and an inspiration. And I could just keep going on, and I just thank you so much, and I'm just very grateful to have met you and to share your words of wisdom with our audience.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Jackie. That means so much to me. That's why I wanted to share the whole book. And this is not just, like a short, this is 400 pages of my knowledge I wanted to share with you and your audience. I say, Namaste, the sacred bombshell in me acknowledges, adores, and accepts the sacred bombshell in you.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Abiola. Thank you again. I love that you said namaste, and namaste to you, and thank you for joining us on Make Him Fall Madly in Love. And I will look forward to following you wherever you're going, because I'm going with you, girl.
Yes, let's do it, sis.
Good luck with your book.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jackie.
Bye-bye.
Bye.